Yeah, over the weekend, Dambanzao, Obasanjo, IBB all had a clandestine meeting. And we wonder what this is about. Welcome, Mr. Chinedu and Mr. Raphael. Quickly, let me start with you, Mr. Chinedu. What's your take?
Well, nobody knows the reason behind that meeting, but it's not connected with the uncertainty, the situation on ground. According to speculation, the generals and the former head of state, converged without media presence, signaling to the outside world, there is something going on. They are looking at seriously, and if care is not taken, the thing is going to finally bring Nigeria to the knees. And from that angle, we saw Obasanjo step in. We saw Abu Salami, we saw IBB also. Being significant in that meeting. But as I'm talking to you now, Asu Rock, the presidency itself, the APC-led government under Tinubu does not know the outcome of that meeting, does not know the reason of that meeting. And of course, that these men still have structures everywhere. I can tell you that, and if they are able to put those structures together, in fact, if by signaling that Nigeria might be on their way to be rescued, by statesmen of that nature, considering the fact that the situation on ground is not what it is. And people are also wondering, how come all of a sudden the military themselves, who are supposed to show solidarity on the situation on ground in the country, are looking the other way. We are not saying that the military should take over power, but in a situation like that, I think maybe we'll start thinking of having an interim government.
Mr. Raphael, what's your take?
Thank you so much. In a situation whereby the generals have come together, to discuss something that they have put as an intimacy. They have not made it known to the members of the executive councils. They have not made their agenda of the meeting known to the Nigerian citizens. If you ask me, I will tell you that there is a green snake in the green grass. Agbo Onakreka in Igbo language. See, let me tell you, formerly in Nigerian nation, I know, if a situation in this country is degenerated up to this level, do you know what happened? The next day, we all know actually what is called martial music. I mean, the military would have staged a comeback the next day. But we've seen what is happening presently. The military are dancing to the costumes of the government of the day. Government of the day has failed Nigerians. They have at least made everywhere ungovernable, unenjoyable in Nigeria. Nigerian citizens are in a very tight corner now. Hunger, bad governance, economic hardship has been ravaging the country from north to south, everywhere. Nobody can control this current situation. If you look at the body language of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he is careless about it. He doesn't care. When Nigerians are complaining and complain the most, Tinubu went and bought 3 presidential jets. 2 presidential jets. He bought another one, they're making it 3. The one they seized in first were 3 in number. Then he bought another one presently. As if that was not enough, this CBN governor, Femi Kodoso, and his board of what? What do you call them? Directors of CBN bought themselves 10 billion worth of what? Bulletproof car. Why? Who is gunning after you? Who is gunning after Kodoso and members of the CBN? And if care is not taken, the Camry, that 7 in number they bought, would have, I know, they are all bulletproof as well. Why spending much money on vehicles, bulletproof vehicles, if you know you are actually doing the right thing to the entire citizens of this country? If actually you are coming out with what? Sincerity, transparency, accountability. If actually that you are giving us how far the transactions that have been going on within NNPC for how many years now, nobody has ever remitted anything kobo for as a result of money realized from our crude. Nobody. We don't know how NNPC is being run. If actually you people are sincere to Nigerians, why buying all these bulletproof cars? Listen good. If Obasanjo, Babangida, Dambanzao, Abdul Salam, all these are our past leaders that are army general, are on the run, pointing hands towards a direction. Okay, let me tell you, something is happening there. Everything is not wrong with Nigerian nation now. So the outcome of the meeting is what the press is waiting to know. Nigerians are waiting in anxiety to know how come about that meeting. The secret agenda of the meeting has not been made known to us. But let me tell you, currently, Nigerian economic situation is nothing to write home about. Security in Nigeria here, it is too porous in the north, too porous in the south. Yeah. Look at all the forests in Yoruba land, the Fulani, the killer headers are still occupying there. Look at all the forests in Zamfara, Katsina, Borno State, the killer headers, the bandits are all what? Threatening the farmers. No more harvest in the north. They have threatened the farmers in Katsina, Zamfara, that if at all they went to farm to harvest, they are going to be what? Abducted. This time around, the farmers in the north are paying tolls. They are paying money to Toji Bello, the kingpin, bandit kingpin. Are you listening to me?
Hold on, Mr. Raphael. With the advent of that meeting yesterday, we saw how hastily Tinubu came back to Nigeria in the night like a thief. I believe someone passed him the message that IBB Babangida are already planning some things. And was that not the reason why he came back?
Yes, it has been dislodged. The northern leaders, political leaders, are trying to dislodge themselves from Tinubu government. And you can see it very clearly. They are not too comfortable with the way and manner Dangote is being pushed up and down. And secondly, where we're looking at that meeting as it's supposed to be, we are not forgetting that it might not also be connected to the issue of 2027 election, where options are going to be put on ground. Looking at the factor that has to do with the Tinubu currently now amassing so much wealth, putting Nigeria in a very tight corner, to make sure that he executes, of course, that 2027, considering the fact that there's a lot of trade. Definitely, now the Kano issue is also going to be played out at the end of the day. We know that Obasanjo presence in that meeting signaling that Obi issue will be tendered, considering the fact that IBB some time ago does not actually want to understand the direction Obi was going and did not give Obi that support needed in 2023. But currently now, IBB is taking, Obasanjo is taking up the matter, and as I'm talking to you, I believe that the political issues ahead of 2027 was also brought to the front, and Obi matter was also looked into from the feelings we are getting around presently now.
Mr. Raphael, your take.
Let me tell you, that meeting, I believe, if the outcome finishes, Nnamdi Kanu's matter is what? Paramount. I hope it's part of the paramount reasons they just went to a meeting, all of them, I mean the past generals. So the state of the nation is the reason why they are there. See, let me tell you, breaking away of southeastern Nigeria is one of the agenda. I'm telling you, I was not there, because you can see the generation of insecurity everywhere in Nigeria. Security has been degenerated to the level that the southeasterners, you can't go anyhow now as I'm talking to you. 1 month sit at home and Tinubu doesn't care. It doesn't answer the yearning, the callings of the people of that region to release Nnamdi Kanu. He turns his back on them, meaning if you want to kill yourself, kill yourself. What about federal government interest in the southeastern Nigeria? Don't federal government lose money on daily basis? Why couldn't Tinubu respond to what Ohaneze, the Igbo people have been at least yearning for about how many months now? He turned his back on them only to release Sunday Igboho. See, let me tell you again, the North as well, like my brother has said, the North is tired of this administration. Let me tell you, could it be that Buhari ran at least the affairs of this country the way Tinubu is running it? I don't think all of us would have been alive to at least to vote last year, to cast our vote last year, 2023 election. Everybody would have been annihilated. If you look at the way he's running, the government is running it as if Nigeria is his own father's kitchen. So I'm telling you that there is fire on the mountain. The whole general are running towards that direction. So maybe they can kill it off, or maybe it has escalated to another thing.
Talking about insecurity, the Nigerian army are pleading from the international bodies that the Biafra Liberation Army are too savage. In fact, at the stance now, it seems like the Nigerian army can no longer withstand the might of Simon Ekpa and his group of Biafra Liberation Army.
Let me just add to that, because you can see how Nigerian army has been disconnecting themselves from serving Nigeria. tells you that something is wrong. A lot of them are running away. To
over 100 soldiers resigned.
Different countries,
yes,
out of Nigeria.
Yeah.
We are seeing this happening under this present administration. It becomes very significant. It becomes a threat to the sovereignty of this country, signaling that Nigeria is at a breaking point. And the factor, the way and manner they can only save Nigeria is by looking at those issues that would have knocked out Nigeria completely. And these people who are major stakeholders, talking about IBB, who had built structures over the years, both in the military, in the civil service, everywhere, in the business world, everywhere, are being uncertain what next to do, and that has triggered where we are today. So, and the issue of insecurity is, I know that deliberately that the federal government of Nigeria is financing insecurity using some elements from the south, like Asare Dokupo, to destabilize the entire business in the east. And though we were having Biafra Liberation Army, whom that finally the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, has identified them as a major resistance they are going to face if they continue to kill Nigerians using federal government Igbos in the east using federal government might, and at the same time creating dismantling the Igbo presence in the entire South that makes a lot of them to come out, and say and sound differently. But that's not going to take us to anywhere. But what I want to say is that Igbos are always faster with time, and the agenda to allow Biafra restoration has already taking a global dimension. So there's nothing presently now that this administration or even Nigeria can do about it. Even this restructuring factor has been rejected. So it now has a vast, it becomes a diverse security threat to Nigerian police, to Nigerian army, and all the security apparatus that are being seen to be holding the sovereignty of this country. You can see most of them are running away. So, and the main factor there is one, N.Army, and of course, though there might be a certain sit-up, to appeal to Igbo nation on the way forward at the end of the day. The Northerners have already taken side. We have seen some elements, so prominent politicians and elements. I'm talking about the ethnic lords here in Southwest, asking Bola Ahmed Tinubu to just throw in the power.
Well, Mr. Raphael, it seems now that the Biafran agitation has finally come to stay, because we can see that the Nigerian army are almost throwing the towel.
Let me tell you, over 100, over how many soldiers resigned last month and this week because they are tired of insecurity in Nigeria. They have seen a situation whereby insurgents have been funded by certain northern elites that are staying in UAE, and the UAE government has brought their names and their lists, their accounts to the federal government of Nigeria to actually make sure either demand for their extradition or persecution. Today, nothing has been done about it. So the elites, the northern elders, are the ones responsible for banditry, all manners of insurgency, apart from headers going on in the north. Today, we've seen a federal government of Nigeria that has been, synergizing together with headers, to trouble farmers in Middle Belt, to kill farmers in Yoruba land, to trouble farmers in the south and southeastern Nigeria, welding AK-47, AK-49 to farmers in the farmland, which contributes the reason why we are having shortage of food, drought in Nigeria, let alone in the metropolitan cities across the country, where of course the food should be the cheapest, especially Ibadan, Lagos, Abuja, and so on and so forth. Food are getting very, very, high in price. The prices of food over high. You cannot afford a bag of rice. We cannot afford a bag of beans. Bag of the cheapest food Nigeria has ever known, which is gari, has gone up to 100 and something thousand a bag. And all these Nigerian all these political leaders, from Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the last man, Chancellor, they are busy catching out, feasting on our commonwealth. Yes, they don't care because they have what it takes. They are benefiting from the system. The system is what? Paying much to them. Yes, it pays them. to our own detriment, you and I, to our own risk. Yes, we sit down either for destruction or we can be mad or made by this situation. But by this situation. But let me tell you, there's nothing anybody could do about Simon Ekpa again. Simon Ekpa, you can't do him anything. He has grown up to paranoid. The agitation for Biafra that took off effect, it's risky effect, dangerous effect from 2014 till date. The Biafrans, the Igbo themselves, the Igbos have been crying and crying. Look at what we are doing us. Look at what we are doing. The Igbos marginalization, suppressing them, mounting on them, pushing them down, shutting them down politically. Correct these anomalies is not good. For a very long time, that young man has been agitating and agitating until they went to Nairobi, Kenya, and kidnapped him. Oga, Nigeria has gone a long way to sever their relationship with Biafra nation. So this time around, you can see how paranoid it has gone up. Paranoid, incurable. See, let me tell you, Simon Ekpa is living in Finland today, a Finnish citizen. Could be that Simon Ekpa is living in the UK, a British citizen. They would have brought him back. Today, Britain cannot even synergize with member EU nation because they are not member of EU again. Britain has exited. Brexit of 2014-15. They are not part of EU. Example, if you want to buy anything in European country today, let me tell you, you will use British pound sterling for Britain. You can't use euro. They can't use euro in Britain. Germany and other countries of Europe, you can use euro because they are all EU member nations. And today, let me tell you, Finland will never allow what is their own for what? Extradition. You can't extradite Simon Ekpa. All right, Simon Ekpa is above extradition. And let me tell you, the insecurity in Nigeria today is funded by the political elites. They are using your life, my life, our blood for what? Politics, politicking. And in the southeast again, blame it not on those youths. Blame it not on Samuel Ekpa. You blame it to the political juggernauts in the east. It's the political bigots in the east that are using all manner of criminals to taunt people in the southeastern region, not Samuel Ekpa that lives in the Finland. It is Nigerian Igbo politicians there that are benefiting from this system. See, I myself that don't know anything about politics, I don't benefit, I can never get myself involved into that kind of transaction. We have no reason to torment people in the southeastern Nigeria. Go and ask the Hepus of the Mass. Go and ask the Soludos. Go and ask Peter and Bass. All of them in the southeastern Nigeria are the one constituting trouble politically in that region.
Before we go to the last question, I want to quickly use this opportunity to thank Simon Ekpa, who over the weekend released a Yoruba soldier who was caught by the Biafra Liberation Army. I mean, it was a video he released. He said that he will release this man to go back to the Yoruba land. However, all Yoruba soldiers, Nigerian army, should not come to the Igbos. And I want to also use this medium to plead to all Yorubas in the Nigerian army to desist, to not go to the Igbo land, allow them to be, so that peace can reign. The Igbos and the Yorubas have always known to be brothers. So let us be aware of that. So to my last question. Edo governor has said that he will declare for Biafra if APC snatches that election. And we can see that APC are doing everything possible to take over either by crook, by every means, to steal the vote of the Edolites. Quickly, what's your reaction?
He made that statement, when he suspected that, a certain undemocratic element from Abuja or even around other, especially the APC-led government, has threatened. Wike has also said it very clearly that he will instigate crisis in all the states, in 36 states of the federation, and the presidency is not doing anything. When you see somebody, and a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, making that kind of statement and continuously, making that kind of, even boasting that nobody can threaten his cousin, who is not supposed to be an umpire in that Edo State election, then Obaseki has come out to say it, make it very clearly that if they push Edo State to an extent, of course, he will start agitation. And you know what agitation means? Anybody that is telling you that we will not take our territory, we will take it. Anybody that is not comfortable will leave. And Obaseki means whatever he says at this point, because we're not seeing this kind of tyranny. We're not seeing I'm not seeing this thing as a civilian rule, as a democratic rule. This is purely a junta administration under Tinubu. And of course, Obaseki is equal to this task, and he made it very clearly. He did not say clearly that he's going to join, but he's trying to tell you that if anything starts as in a chaos in a just state, it will lead to, of course, disintegration of Nigeria. And of course, possibly Biafra will come from that point.
Mr. Raphael, on the last note, what's your reaction to that question?
If you look at what is going on in Edo State, it is absolutely, a state of cure. It's degenerating into a state of cure, a situation whereby, everything there is heading to anarchy. So that's why Obaseki has come out and made his stance clear that if actually Wike, Oshomole, Tinubu and co, I mean the APC juggernauts across the country, snatch or disenfranchises the Ebelites their own civility, let me tell you, he is going to declare that region a Republic of Biafra, another section of Nigeria, southern Nigeria. No, we know that they are on the coastal line of Biafra, but the governor has come out to say, if you do it by force, I will do mine by force. Biafra will be very imminent here. This place will be ceded unopposed, walk over to Biafra sovereignty. So this time around, every canale, all the APC structures, political structures, they should take it right in their head that they are going to be the cause of their tragedy, the tragedy that is going to befall the southern Nigeria this time around. That in such a way that Biafra is coming, a walkover. It's not going to take. Nobody's going to shoot any blood, because it's a right of every citizen to agitate for self-determination. And you can see Obaseki's statement. He did not mince his words. He was too blunt and meticulous about it. He did not use Edo language, he used English language for everybody's assimilation and digestion. That Edo State will be ceded very soon. If Adam Ochomole continues all his politicking, wayo, politicking what? Egunje, dichotomy and so on and so forth, to make sure that Edo State fall for a party that is not the party of interest. Is of no interest voting for APC. That is what the Benin's, the chance, the Ebelites, all the components, ethnicities within that state are saying APC is not our party of interest. So allow anybody to vote whomsoever they want to vote, to make choice, either Labour Party, PDP, or even APC, because it's an individual right of everybody. You can't disenfranchise anybody to vote. Allow everybody to vote. What happened in Lagos could not happen there in Edo State, because what? Edo no be Lagos. Edo no be Lagos. They are very different people.
Thank you very much for that brilliant submission, Mr. Chinedu and Mr. Raf. Good morning.